And of course, he's highly revered in the gospel space in the country. On his bio on Instagram, I see Pastor. I didn't know that one, but the Pastor is in there. And of course, he's a recording artist. And I know lots of you have done lots of bongo worship with his songs a lot of times. He's always out there. Ladies and gentlemen, Akesse Brempong is our guest, the lion.
Yes, sir.
Open lion. Jata.
Yeah.
Do the mu jata. That's where you're going from.
Yeah. And primarily because of my reggae disposition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. So it just fits really well that you're Akesse Brempong, the lion. This video that we just watched. I know we'll get into the details of it, but this is very different. I mean, for you, it's not really like different, but for the industry, like, and I was like, oh, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
What's like the thought when you're going to make songs and you're thinking, okay, so what time should I do the worship that everybody likes?
Oh.
What time should I do the bongo worship? What time would I do dance up? What time would I do stuff like this?
I get that. So I think of my audiences as being from different backgrounds, different facets, and the kinds of influences I grew up in. So I grew up in a typical Pentecostal home.
Okay.
You know, so that influences that influences the spontaneous worship and all those. And I've been in the contemporary gospel thing for a long time. Ardent follower of the likes of Danny Nete, Nyoka, and Dems. So that's where the content thing also comes from. And of course, the reggae thing comes from, my uncles who were reggae people playing reggae songs in their home. So yeah, I think of music basically as a language that different people speak different languages. And so in order to communicate, it's better you communicate in their language. So if I want to reach young people, I put it on Afrobeats.
Okay.
If I want to make the song timeless, I put it on reggae. Yeah, if I want to reach my church folks, I go to the typical Pentecostal,
The traditional.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing. So it makes you like an all-rounder to everybody, and you're able to get in touch with everybody in that sense.
Exactly.
The last time where you were talking, contemporary and urban and all of
Yeah.
and all of those conversations.
I remember those.
Yeah. Maybe close to a year on.
Yeah.
What have you seen? Is it like an addition mainly to the gospel space in the country, or is still okay? Yeah, they are doing their own thing.
I think we are expanding.
Okay.
Especially with regards to genres.
Okay.
When we think of gospel, we always box it to church music.
Yeah.
Like the kind of music we'll hear typically in church, typical praise and worship songs. But, our generation dared to step out from the Kwesi Oten's generation down to ours. We decided to bring alternate sounds to gospel music. And then there was the urban rap kind of clique. We saw the likes of King's Kid, Esaias, Regardless. Those guys were heavy. And they are still doing some great work in that sphere as well. Now, there seems to be another outlet or channel, if you will, like this, Afrobeats, also added to the stock. So you see guys like Adam Evangelist, Kobe Sound, then recently Scott Evans. All of these guys doing some really great work in that sphere as well. And of course, when you go to the reggae circles, you have the likes of Nat Abbey, Reason, and some other great people who are doing tremendously well. So I believe that we are expanding the frontiers of gospel music.
Yeah.
We've come out of the shell, and now people are daring to enter into territories where we thought gospel did not belong. I'm looking for that day when we are talking about Afrobeat Song of the Year on VGMA, and there's a gospel song on there.
In that category.
In that
category.
Yes, because the gospel guys are doing some great work in that sphere.
But has it affected the gospel circles in any way? Because we know the traditional gospel is like the people's favorite, and then it was a frontier in most of our gospel phases when we're growing up.
Yeah.
And then contemporary came in. So within the two and how the genres have evolved, have they affected the gospel circles in any way?
I think so. I think there's a large appreciation for contemporary gospel. I think the limit was broken somewhere in 2017, 18 when Joe won Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
Then the lid got broken. So we used to see typically the traditional gospel people at the forefront.
Yeah.
So that experience for me was a late breaker, where now we can see a lot more contemporary gospel people doing some great stuff. Now, if you watch our TV screens right now, it looks as if all the gospel songs that you see are live recordings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and these things were spearheaded by our generation.
Yeah.
You know, so contemporary gospel has come to the fore, and for the past maybe 5-6 years, it has remained the forefront.
Yeah. So
Do people relate to the live performances, live recordings, more than maybe you have a song and there's a video?
Music video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the energy that comes with live recordings are so different.
Yeah.
You are immersed in the music. So you see people reacting to the music like they would when they are in church. So there's an immersive, quality, if you will, that comes with live recordings.
Even though we hear that it's expensive, though.
It is. Yeah. It is really expensive. It is really expensive. That's why I think that, gospel here in Ghana needs a lot more support.
But with the genres that you're talking about, Afrobeats, dancehall, and all that, do you think that Ghanaians are actually ready for that kind of gospel music? Because they are used to a certain kind of gospel music. Are we even ready to accept this form of gospel?
Largely, I think the acceptance has been great, phenomenal. I mean, I went to Lighthouse and King's Kid was in concert. It didn't used to be like that. Back in the day when I was growing up, you can't come and sing rap in church. Yeah.
Right.
But right now we see Scott Evans, Kobe Sam. Kobe Sam is doing high school tours.
Yeah. I think he's currently in East Africa.
He's in Kenya now, doing some great stuff there. It didn't used to be like that. Yeah. It would. It's a story I don't like to tell on TV, but there was a guy in my church who was trying to do some of these rap things, and I remember him being sacked from the stage one time.
Wow.
Right now, there's a big demand for it.
You have you for now, I would say that you've been one of the pioneers. So like everybody wants to get into some of these things. Oh, they'll be looking at Akesse because he's done a lot of these things.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to them so as not to let them sway away just because people are saying that, Charlie, this is you do, go pick. You're doing these Afro stuff, it's not going to work. Or, if you do stuff like this, you're not really like Holy Spirit said that. No, those kind of, I know that conversation. They do Afrobeat, who can't do that and dance like this. What advice would you give to them?
So there's one thing I tell the young people I mentor. The first thing I say is that God did not call any form of music to repentance. He called the people that do the music to repentance. So there's no genre of music that is devilish.
Okay.
The people that do the music sanctify the music. In actual fact, some of the songs that we do in church, we would have touted them as devilish because it started off as a communion. Your typical high life started as palm wine music from, the drinking bars. So it's a form of art. It's an art form. Okay. But what carries the spirit of the music is the lyrics. Music is tripartite.
Yeah.
Just like every human being. There's the body, there's the soul, there's the spirit. The body of music is the rhythm. That's why we clap our hands to some palogo beat and you move your body to it. You know, body will call on to body. And the soul of music is the melody. That's where the emotions and the intelligence of the music is. So there are some melodies when we play them without putting any words, you begin to cry.
Yeah.
Like the melodies we play on Atentebeng. When the chief dies, you hear that melody. Nobody has said anything to you, but there's some sorrow that comes upon you when you hear that, because it carries the emotion of the music, and that emotion rubs off on you when you hear the music. But what imparts in the music is the lyrics. Jesus said, "The words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life."
Yeah.
So what carries the life of the music really is the lyrics. The melody gives it emotions, and the rhythm, or what we'll call the beat, gives it body. You know, so you rather want to pay attention to the lyrics and put it in a body where your audience can actually relate to, so that the spirit can impart. So whatever form of music that you feel like you can do, just sanctify it with your lyrics and impart people.
So it can be rap, it can be Afrobeat, but so far as
Sweetheart, it can be punk.
It could be that jazz.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
True, though.
But for some reason, you know, we feel like once it's slow, once it's more or less like a praise song, then it's gospel. Sometimes you don't even pay attention to the lyrics in there.
Yeah.
But so far as you're getting a particular beat,
Yes.
we feel it's gospel, which shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, because we get caught up in the emotions, the
Right.
melodies.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, very okay. Nana, come in. Yeah.
we touch on that, he touched on something sensitive. That's you keep on preaching that we should pay attention to the gospel space.
Yes.
In Ghana, and we are in this day and age where we are pushing that investors will come and sponsor, be it secular or gospel. We had some digital experts here some time ago, and they were saying that even in Ghana here, we have investors. We have to tap into the right connections to get. There were certain examples like these big companies, like the insurance. He cited an example that if someone comes here to have an interview, if the person is walking out, we have an insurance company in the premises. How often do artists go there to tell them that this artist, these are my data, these are my numbers, try and support or do this, do that? It's a form of trying to get an investor to come into your crowd. Most of it, we try to look outside. But then I want to find out from you, will an investor make enough returns if they are to push money into the gospel space? What are the data? What are the examples? What do we have to show that if this investor is coming on board, this is what he's going to get?
Great. So I think somewhere last year there was some YouTube data, and we found out that some of the top 5 most watched artists in Ghana, Diana Hamilton was number 2.
Gospel artist.
Gospel artist was number 2. Tell me what numbers corporate Ghana can't get from Joe Metal or Akesse Brempong. You know, because Joe Metal fails the the Perez Dome, and he's done it back to back.
Yeah.
You know, Emoji recently failed the
Oil Dome.
The Oil Dome. Gospel has numbers. We do, except that corporate Ghana don't want to be religiously inclined. I think that's predominantly
That's the
issue.
problem.
Okay.
Yes. Corporate Ghana don't want to be seen as we are Christians.
But they want to be seen as we are supporting the secular.
Of course, the data is there to show. They always sponsor the secular ones, you know. But we must say that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
We heard recently that churches are setting up record labels.
Yeah, and I know that's something that's on your heart. You've been
It's
talking
been
about
on
it
my
for a very
heart
long
for
time.
5 years, calling out to churches to start this, because I believe, one, that the church is the biggest consumer of gospel music.
Yeah.
And the church must fund the things they believe in. The church believes in social work. So we see churches setting up hospitals, setting up schools, and different kinds of things. But there's no church service where we don't see music going on. And I felt like the church wasn't investing into the music we consume.
Yeah.
Who do you want to invest in the music?
Music you consume.
That you consume? Because predominantly the biggest market for gospel music is the church.
The church.
Yeah.
And the church is better positioned to manage the players within the space. I'm talking about the musicians, the artists, and whatnot. So if the church went into record labels, I thought that it would thrive better than investors who are not kingdom minded.
Yeah.
Who are business oriented.
Yes.
Handling gospel musicians. If not, the gospel will be overly commodified. If we leave it for profit oriented investors.
Yeah, the
to
business
just
oriented people, it will, it makes sense.
So that's why I was calling on the church to enter into the space and help, shoot up the gospel industry. And I hear 5 different churches.
Yeah, we have about 5
have
now.
started record labels, and it gladdens my heart because I think that individuals within the space have pushed, like the likes of Kwesi Ortins, Joe Metal, MOG, Diana Hamilton, pushed with their individual funds up until this point. And when the church comes in, I believe that structures will be put in place so that the gospel can soar.
Fantastic. All right, so if you just tune in, we've got Akesse Brempong on the line in the studio. We're talking about, of course, his music, and generally, he's a senior man in the industry, and a lot of people look up to him. We're having a conversation on that. Very soon, we'll talk about Bountiful, but we're live on Facebook also at Metro TV Ghana, so you can join us on there, and also DSTV channel 277. So let's talk about Bountiful now. We played the video earlier for you. Akesse, bountiful money, bountiful blessings, everything. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So this is a song that has been in the works for some time. We shot it, I think, sometime last year, September.
Last year.
With Stanley Ajete.
Okay.
Stanley now lives in the UK.
Oh, Take Two.
The guy was, Take Two. The guy was doing tremendously well here.
Yeah.
But people didn't take care of him, so he left.
Take Two films.
We shot that in the UK, and Stanley, he always comes with the magic. He wanted to depict the nightlife of London, how young Africans hustle within that space, and how that people are just hopeful and praying that God would bring a breakthrough with their lives.
Yeah. So I was gonna say the breakthroughs from here as well, and there's a bountiful blessing.
Because for a second I was wondering what could be the reason why such music or video will be shot not in Ghana, but then in UK.
Where the blessing?
So I'm like, okay, is it that we don't have the blessings is not here?
No, not at all.
Like,
it so happened that I was in the UK at the time, and Stanley was there, so we just.
Is it off a project, an album project, or anything like that?
Of course. So when you see me release singles, you know that there's an album coming. We're working with Winks music company in the UK to release my first project with them.
Oh, okay.
And, so that's Bountiful is the first single of the Awakening project.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awakening.
and we'll be live recording on the 27th of May, Saturday 27th May, at EWC Prayer Factory in Jowulu. It's not open to the public. It's strictly by
invitation.
Oh,
all your previous ones, they've been open to the, because you do at the malls. Yes,
I think my team is putting out some information. If you want to be in the audience, you can register on my website, www.akessebrempong.com.
We've got a website.
Of course.
Charlie?
It's 21st
So
century.
you
man.
see, no, so you see, no, I am saying this because you really would have people, musicians, have websites like that because then it adds to. Okosia
his
invested in
portfolio.
Okade.
Yeah.
Go to my website, you see everything there. Okay, this guy.
Yeah.
Is, so we need a lot
prepared.
more people like yourself.
Oh, but this is
Not everyone. Not everyone.
the likes
What do they do?
the likes of Joe Emoji myself. We stream our events on our website.
1, 2, 3, 4. What about 4?
Diana, that's so.
5. anyway, yeah, it's a good thing. So people, Bountiful is out on YouTube,
Yes.
all streaming platforms.
Yes.
Go check it out. Support it. The gospel music industry needs money.
Yeah.
When here's Kapapa
Let me add that on the 30th of July,
Okay.
we'll be doing the Awakening Live, which is
Okay.
like a live event
Okay.
that everybody can participate
Everybody
in.
can come.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You
but
just buy a
okay,
ticket.
the one for the album is
The recording is strictly
recording.
by invitation.
Okay.
yes.
Then the other one on the 30th.
On the 30th of July, that one is open to everyone.
Where's that one happening?
That will be at Cedar Mountain Chapel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the mountain.
East Legon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plush Auditorium.
I get it. I mean, that brings to mind the conversation about auditoriums and
Yes. Yes. I think we need a lot of that in our space.
The churches are there. They are helping. Oh.
Yeah, the churches are there, but where's the place of government in this? Where are the theaters the government promised us?
Oh, they just cancel for one in Kumasi.
Yeah.
Are they building it?
Cut short. First step.
Yeah.
The amphitheater.
Yeah.
After 7 years.
Oh, it's like it will be ready in July.
Okay, we'll do the Awakening there.
Anyway, I
But
guess.
then,
Okay,
before you go, VGM is just a few days away. Any
Yes.
predictions?
Yes.
Who do you think will be winning? Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, you want
Especially
Akesse
for
to
the
be
gospel
biased.
hours.
You want me to be biased?
Is that PSA for
I
artists?
really want Akesse to be biased.
Oh, of course.
You might not be. Oh, you're going to be biased.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be biased.
Okay.
I just feel like PSA deserves it.
The artist of the year.
The artist of the year.
Wow.
Who else is in there?
Wow.
There's Black Sheriff in
There's
there.
Black
Right,
Sheriff
there's-
in there.
Hey,
There's
that's
Promise,
Promise.
Kwame Eugene. I think Sarkodie
Sarkodie,
is
yeah.
also there.
Yeah, I feel like PSA
And
deserves it.
Jometo himself.
Yeah,
is
Jometo is
on
also
there.
in there.
Then he should take it.
What?
Joe or PSA should take it.
Wow.
But I sincerely think that Blacko has done some tremendous work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Joe or PSA doesn't take, then he should go to Blacko.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
Right.
I like that.
Okay,
like
that's
that.
great. Akesse Brempong, thank you so much for coming through this
My pleasure.
afternoon. And we're always here anytime.
Yes, sir.
You could just pass through.
We'll
Oh
come
yeah, and I saw TMC's video with
Recording.
you the other time.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for young people like that, like Jackie, TMC,
Right.
Chambers,
Yeah.
even for Timmy Tenny, who are trying to do some great stuff. If you see young folks like that and they come into you as the papa, like the big brother,
Like it makes me feel like I'm old. I'm still very young. But I remember seeing TMC for the first time in Obuasi. TMC and my boy, who is now in Berkeley School of Music, Shadrach, were in the same group in Obuasi. So that's where I saw him. That's like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and I told the guy, your vocals are insane. So it's no wonder how he has progressed, moving into Accra and doing all these great stuff. I wish him well. I believe that he would blow.
Okay.
Yeah.